Hello, guys. This is Reta's Mano. Welcome back to my show. So today I have a great person. Right now, I'm thinking of names to describe him. But if you remember, just a few seconds ago, I said a great person because he is indeed a great person. Besides the fact that I went to school with him, he was my classmate. Overall, as a person, as a father, as someone that gives back to the community at large, Taiwo Adewole is surely a great person. So I'm bringing him today so we can talk about environmental health. Now, there cannot be, just like I say, there cannot be, you know, health without mental health. So the environment impacts basically everything we do as a person. So Taiwo Adewale today is going to talk to us about how environment impacts we as a person and as a collective. So, guys, please welcome Taiwo Adewale. How are you,
Thank
Taiwo?
you. I'm fine. Are you? Thank you very much.
I'm so happy seeing you. The least we do is probably talk on the phone, but seeing you live, I'm so happy. How you doing? How's the family? How's
I'm
everyone?
fine. I'm fine. We thank God you are fine.
That's really good to know. So, Taiwo, today I have a barrage of questions for you because I know you're doing pretty well, with the environmental health in Nigeria. I mean, I might probably chip in one or two questions about when we were in Lagos State University together, because you've always been a
Okay.
very astute person, an individual that goes about his business, an individual that does not play with his education, and overall, a good person. I like to use that word because it encompasses you as a person. So, T, we're going to start off with can you tell my audience your name, your educational history, and where you come from?
Okay. My name is Taiwo Adewole. I graduated from Lagos State University. My first degree was BSc Geography. Then 2002, I have to go back for my master's in the same Lagos State University, master's in environmental resource management, and graduated in 2003. And since then, I've been doing a lot of write-up, publication, international journal, conferences in the UK, in the US, all centered around climate change and waste management. Because my main focus was on waste management, and I could even remember before I go for my master degree, and when I said I'm going for MSc environmental management, people say, "Oh, when there's MBA, there's MPA. Why environmental management? Do you want to be a sanitary officer, checking people's toilets and so on? Why masters in environmental management?"
Exactly.
And when that came up, and I could remember 2010 when I got invitation from the White House, and I've been invited by President Barack Obama as one of the young African leaders. I have to call my friends. Like if I didn't do my environmental science, will I get this invitation to the White House and so like
Will
that?
you will you
So
get
it
this
just
far?
like exactly. So it just
Hmm.
like passing this message to people. Once you have a vision, you have a focus, stay on it. Don't let people divert your attention because maybe this is where God said you are going to, and somebody just divert you from your way and for you to start over. So, and I can even remember before that 2010, 2008, I got invited to by the Department of State to come to about 7 states in the US to study the urban environment issue under what they call International Visitor Leadership Program. And when I went after the 3 weeks, I came back to Nigeria. People said, "Why did you come back? You have opportunity of going to America instead of you to run away." I said, "Run away for what?" So when that invitation came from President Obama, I reminded them that if I ran away in 2008, end up washing dishes or a taxi driver, will Obama remember, oh, there's this young guy in Nigeria? So just to let
Exactly.
people know that once I have a vision, be focused and stay on it.
I'm so happy for all you said. And you're blowing my mind over and over again. It shows your astuteness, it shows, your credibility, it shows who you are as a person, it shows how far you have come, and it shows your tenacity. Tenacity goes a long way. Just like you said, when you keep at it, you keep going, the
Exactly.
sky is the limit.
Exactly.
And you're still gonna, and I'm so happy for you. So I'm going to ask you a little bit personal question. You've
Okay.
probably just told us, basically most of what you do for a living. So besides all these accomplishments you've had, um, what do you do in Nigeria?
Yeah, I'm an environmental consultant. So, like I said, anything that has to do with environmental related, anything that has to do with waste management, anything that has to do with climate change. And presently, I'm a director with Recycle Points, a social benefit whereby I go from door to door, house to house, enlighten people, separate your waste, and they could get something back in return for that waste. Because basically in Nigeria, all our waste are mingled together. We operate what they call a single bin system. Unlike our brother, you have different color coded bin. But in Nigeria, all the waste goes together. The tractor come pick them and straight to the dump sites. So, but what we try
Okay.
to do is we need to let people know they can earn money from separating their waste. Because when you separate these items, there are raw materials for that industry, the plastic, the nylon, the carton. We have industry that requests for them on daily basis. So why send them to the dump site, or why even dump them in the canal and drainages? The rainy season is there. Any drainage you go to now, you see them floating. So what we do is we go from house to house, door to door, collect these items, do sensitization, community to community, even government to government to let them know. Because once you go around Nigeria, it seems it's only Lagos that everything is happening. Go to that state, they don't even have any facility for waste management. Where do their waste go to? They don't even have history. But even some medical waste, you find them in open, you see blood, syringe, and so on in open because there's no proper waste management. So what I do is I consult for states on waste management and recycling. How can they turn their waste to wet at the same time keeping the environment clean and generating raw materials for industry and creating employment opportunity? Because in the process of keeping the environment clean, you are taking away these wastes and you are taking it to industry that process them to other raw materials. And at the same time, the factory are going to employ a lot of Nigeria to work in that industry, and the end products are raw materials. And this will save a lot of foreign exchange. Instead of importing virgin products, we have them locally and so on. So this has gone a long way, and presently I'm a consultant to Lagos State government and Lomada as Lagos State Waste Management Authority on waste to wet. Also consult for the Ministry of Environment, and presently I have a project I'm working on the dump site. And the dump site I'm talking about is Olusoji, one of the biggest dump sites in Africa today, which is about 40 hectares of land loaded with waste. And so we have people that work on this dump site. There are over 4,000 people that live on the dump site, and they have different community, the Hausa Igbo community on that dump site. And some, even with their family, their children. In fact, there is a particular guy from the dump site. He was able to go to university, went to law school. For the money he got there, and is back on the dump site because that is where he got his money from. But the problem is that most of these people, they don't have savings. As soon as the money come on daily basis, they spend that, okay, by tomorrow people will come and buy this item. So what we are trying to do is changing the lifestyle because they are the informal sector. Try to see how we could structure them to make sure they have savings. And once in a while, we bring in the medical team because these are people that work on the dump site, and this dump site will have all kind of waste, hazardous waste, even hospital waste, and they use their bare hand in picking this item. So we need to bring in the medical team once in a while, check them, treat them for free, because they believe, oh, we are out of this world. The government doesn't really care about them. All I know is, oh, this is where our waste goes to, and most people don't even care. They generate their waste, they take away the waste, they don't even know where the waste is
Mhm.
going to, what is happening to the waste, except
Exactly.
maybe when there's a serious flooding in Lagos. Everybody started complaining, forgetting that, oh, my waste is one blocking the drainage and so on. So these are the kind of what we do: enlightenment, let people know they can make money from their waste, which is called waste to waste. And in fact, that led to one of my book that was published in the UK titled Wastenomics, turning waste
Mm.
liability into assets. Let people know that waste is not a liability. I mean, it's not a liability but an asset. So you know, when you
Assets,
look at
yes.
economics, we talk about assets, we talk about liability. So I now look at waste, which I now call wastenomics, turning waste liability into asset.
How you
What
can
people see
regenerate
as
it. How you
exactly.
can
So let people
regenerate
know.
it.
Exactly. Let people know that, wow, there's money in it. And if you look at Nigeria generally, Nigeria generates about 100,000 ton of waste every single day that goes to the dump site. And now, if you are to put monetary value on this 100,000 ton, that's 4 billion naira every single day. And people complain of number of employment opportunity. The government complain there's inflation, that the country is broke. But you have 4 billion naira going into the dump site, going into the drainage every single day. And if you look at worldwide, that's about $2 trillion. The waste industry is worth about $2 trillion. Once you have to put monetary value on this waste, by the time you separate the organic for compost, the plastic for recycling, and so on. So why would people be complaining there's no work, there's no money, and meanwhile you generate this money? Anytime you drive on the road, you see the waste, which can bring in money. So these are the kind of advocacy we have been doing for the past almost 20 years now.
Yes, and that brings me to one question because I know I was going to ask you this when you first started, when this idea, this idea was born in your head and you decided, to go about it. I want to know, was there any initial support from the government, Nigerian government? Did you get any
No,
support?
no, 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 not really. If you are going to be waiting for the government support, it's going to take a very long time, because most of the people in government, how many of them even understand this? They believe we waste. In fact, I've been to some state, I met some commissioner. They tell you waste. Is it not just to dump it away, throw it away? That what is
I
your
know
business with it? It's waste now.
that's their
Let's throw it
own
away.
exactly. That's their own
That's their own
literally
thinking.
understanding. Yeah, they don't know how in depth it
Exactly.
is.
In fact, was it 2 days ago? I was talking to a driver that just finished drinking, and just from the car, he threw away the plastic. And I was saying, why did you have to throw it away? That if I don't throw the plastic away, those women that sweep road, they won't have work to do. Can you imagine such mentality that, oh, once I
I
throw
can
my waste on
imagine.
the road, there are some women that sweep the road, that's their work. So let me generate more waste for them so they can have more waste to sweep. So you can see the mentality of people. They're not talk of government. What government is that
Exactly.
government come up with a lot of policy. We have more than enough policy, but the problem is implementation. One thing is
Enacting
for you
it.
to have a policy, exactly.
Yeah,
One four things for
enacting
you to
it.
have the policy, and another thing is enact the policy. That's where the problem is. Fantastic policy here and there, but in most cases, I don't wait for government. I do my things. It's once in a while that government will say, we like what you are doing. Let's work together. But if you are waiting for government, you are going to wait forever. So, but do your thing. And when they believe we need to work with you. And like I said, so recently that Loma Lagos State government said, we are doing a fantastic work. Let's work together. So there's always a need for collaboration. And in most cases, I tell people, everything is not government. In most cases, you don't have to even wait for government to come and sweep your compound for you. You don't have to wait for government to come to your house and start separating your waste for you. You don't even wait for government to clear the drainage in front of your house. Everything is not government. You too, you need to put in some efforts. Everything is not government. Because when we talk of government, there are people like us. But just make them understand this is the right thing to do. This is the right way to go about it. So waiting for government support is not my thing per se,
I
but
know.
yeah,
And
but you need to work with them.
yeah, exactly. And from what you've just said so far, you've mentioned, some challenges. Are there other challenges that, you face on a day-to-day basis, or how
Of
does it
course,
work?
there's a lot of challenges. Like I told you, even for you to set up a recycling industry, you need to look at logistics. Traffic in Lagos is something else. For you to move the item from one point to the other, then what about the power? You need power to process, to run your
Electricity.
recycling, electricity. And even as I'm on now, my gen is on, the fuel is burning, and so on, electricity. So there's a lot of challenges from logistic to
No.
electricity, and even enlightenment and education. I told of a driver that said, oh, if I don't throw away the waste, how will the women be engaged in sweeping the road? So lack of education, orientation, and so on. These are what you face every day in the
I'm
industry.
thinking, the masses, the citizen as a whole, there has to be a total restructuring whereby, just like you said, education orientation, whereby, when they see such things on television, on the radio, it's on and on. They do it, intermittently, or they do it persistently. I mean, I'm
Exactly.
thinking one way or the other, it seeps in into their head that yes, this is the way we have to do this. This is the way this has to go. And
Exactly.
I know that I thought as much that over time, from all you've been doing, there's definitely going to be challenges, from your end. And I'm going to bring it down to right now. You have an office. You operate from somewhere. How many staffs
Yes.
did you start off with, and how many are you working with now?
Initially, then when I started,
Taiwo,
I started with what
I can hear you.
can
Go
you hear
ahead.
me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so when I started initially, I started with about two staff. One happened to be my staff. Another guy came that, look, sir, I like what you're doing. I believe in you. I want to work with you, even if as an intern. So we started, but today now we have over more than 50 staff at different stages of development. Some are on, I don't even mind if it's for free because I love what you're doing. I'm passionate about the environment, and I have a lot of people I also mentor. But there are some that are not on, And I keep on telling people it has to do with voluntarism, because in Nigeria, most Nigeria don't believe in volunteer. All they want
I
is immediate.
know.
I
I
want
know.
immediate cash. That all this thing are doing, will it bring money immediately? But
The
part of the
spirit of
orientation I got when I went to the US during the IVFP program, the 3 weeks is voluntarism. But how many people want to volunteer? All they believe is immediate money. Now, why will I volunteer? If the environment is dirty, I don't care. But they don't look at the long run effects of that. So voluntarism has a long way to go. And in Nigeria, our orientation needs to change. That you need to
I know.
volunteer and
Because I
volunteer and volunteer.
I get it because basically every Nigerian concept, Nigerian mindset, Nigerian mentality, instant gratification. What am I getting
Exactly.
out of this? You're telling me to
Exactly.
do this. What am I getting out of it? So I get how it was. When you first started, did you have support from anywhere, from family, from your colleagues? Was there any support when you first started?
Yeah, I could remember. In fact, the first money I got, when they were online. I went, because most of the time once I do my write up, I post them online. I see people from India, China who were looking for somebody to come and write. So I do my write up, and along the line, I saw a lady in the UK that said, "Oh, there's this competition for people in Africa," and I wrote an article on engaging the youth within my community, because I noticed every last Saturday Nigeria should be environmental sanitation
Oh,
where
they
everybody
still
is
do
supposed to
that?
come out and clean.
Taiwo, they still do the
Yeah, but
environmental. That's good.
some states still do it, but some people have to go to court that don't have rights to restrict people from not coming out. That the environmental can go on while there's movement. But what I noticed that the youth within my community, it is time for them to play football because the road are closed. So they see that as an opportunity to play football. So I did a write up engaging the youth, and that was how my write up one. I think was it £200. Then I got the little money, and that encouraged me to do more. And
Come
along the
on.
line, thank you. So along the line, the next one that came was from UK. Oh, we saw your write up online. So that was as far back as 2009. That also in Nigeria, you know about climate change. Okay, can you come to the UK? And I told them, come to the UK. I don't have a passport. I don't have a statement of account. He said, don't worry, get your passport. And so just like a magic, I applied for the visa, went to the UK, took some delegation from Nigeria,
And it
and
worked.
that is how and it's worked. And it was all expenses paid.
Oh,
Came back, another one came. We were having a climate change walk in London. Bought my ticket, all expenses paid, and it has been so good. Support from the US government, support from organization in the UK, pay for ticket, and it was just like miracle when
and
everything
it's and
started giving.
there's support from the Nigerian government too, I guess.
Yeah, from the Nigerian government, also definitely from the state
But
government, from the local
but
government.
T, I was gonna ask you now, do they help with, there's I mean with your line of work, there's certain equipment, you would need, that has to be on ground, to achieve basically, all this waste disposal. Has the government helped in any way?
Of course, what the government is doing in most cases is providing the bin. Now, I can remember last year, the Lagos State government came up with what they call Lagos Recycle to make sure every single household in Lagos separate their waste, and they are giving two bins, the green and the blue. So the green is for your general waste, while the blue is meant for recyclables, and they also give out purple bags to keep your recyclables. And recently, they've introduced IT, whereby you can go to your phone and just like requesting for Uber or requesting for a ride, you can also request for your recyclable to pick up from your house. So government is doing everything possible to make sure there's infrastructure. They're having what they call the community recycling center, bringing it closer. In fact, making infrastructure available for people. So government is
I
doing
saw,
everything possible
I
on their
think
own part to support
on
this
Twitter,
industry.
I think I saw the Lagos State governor and the wife, and I think his entourage, they all came out. I saw them distributing, this
Yes.
purple, you know,
Yeah,
mm,
the purple bag. Yeah, that's for the Lagos Recycle Initiative.
that's pretty good. I mean, if like you said, Nigeria's always had a problem for they have. I'll put it as Nigeria lacks maintenance culture because once something is new, we just run it to the ground. Now you're using
Exactly.
something constantly, you have to keep behind your mind that you have to maintain it. Just like that guy you said tossed an empty plastic bottle outside and
Yeah.
said, okay, if he doesn't toss it, those people that cleans the floor, they don't have a job. But the fact remains that when those people keep cleaning, if it's a culture, let's leave
yeah,
the fact that somebody tossed it out. If it's a culture, if it's something that is imbibed in you as a person, something you do over
yeah,
time, it keeps. Because
exactly.
I was born in Nigeria, just like you. I mean, we're colleagues, so I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
But that's one of the reasons why I so much wanted to do this interview, because over the years I have followed you, seen how you've done, and believe me, Taiwo, I am over impressed. I'm not just going to use the word impressed. I'm over impressed because you've done what no one. I mean, for how many years I've been on this earth, no one. Okay, probably I might probably give. I don't know if it's is it Mudashiru that did the environmental sanitation? I don't. Is it
yes,
Mudashiru?
yes, yes.
Besides
The
him,
former
no
governor.
one has
Yeah,
ever done anything. I know with the environment. I mean, when they say environmental health, I mean it's infused with we as a person, because your environment affects your
exactly,
person. Your
exactly,
environment affects your person. So, and that's one thing most people don't know, that, if your environment is clean, you as a person, you're good. I mean,
exactly.
let's leave the fact that, I'm not going to talk about COVID-19 now, but, with all these different health hazard, or all these, health issues we all face as we, grow older, but you get to live a good, clean, better life when your environment is clean
Screen.
and good.
Yeah,
Because it's one way or the other affects you positively. That's if it's
e-
good. But if it's
exactly.
bad, it affects you, it impacts you in a negative
Negatively.
way.
Exactly.
So has there been any major health issue with you or a member of your team, while on the job, while you guys are, because I've seen, I mean, I have a couple of your pictures, your videos, how you guys go in depth, how you pull out all those trashes, from the gutters, from the sea. I hope there's not been any health hazard or
No,
any health issue.
there has not been any health issue, because we also consider what we call the health safety and environment. So before we set out to make sure we have our PPE equipment, you have your hand glove
Good,
on, you have your boots on, and take
good.
precaution. And even in some cases, whenever we are going out, we have some team that join us, that a medical team that join us. That in case of emergency, we have our first aid box. So we
Mm,
also always make sure we take precaution. And even some community we go with medical doctor, do free checkup for people within the community, check their BP, their sugar level, and so on, as part of what we do.
good. That's pretty good. That's good. I'm happy. I'm happy. You guys set out to do things like that. That's pretty good.
So
That,
these are kind of what we do. We try to relate to them that if your environment is clean, your environment is clean,
your health
everywhere
is
is
good.
clean.
If the
Yes,
environment is good,
you won't spend money going to the hospital.
that's all. Yeah. So, Tayo,
A kind of medical recycling. Yeah, relating the. Yeah, we are trying to link up health insurance. If you're able to get some recyclables, we exchange that for your health insurance, free health insurance.
that's
Once
good.
you're able to separate your waste, so we are trying to use that
That's pretty good. That's really good. I think we're having a little bit of commotion from your side. I hope you can still hear me, Taiwo. We're, have, we're having a little bit. Can you hear me? We're having a little bit of commotion on your side. Can you hear me, Taiwo? See, let me type something. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Okay,
me?
you don't have
Taiwo, can you hear
money
me?
to do
See,
health
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna
insurance.
pause this, and I don't know if we can just, because it's breaking. I cannot hear you at all. Let me end this, and then I'll bring you back so you can finish up the question. Okay?